ما أريد من هذا الشعب إلا أن يزيد في الحمد والشكر إلى الله عز وجل، ويزيد من محبة الوطن، ويزيد من العمل ومضاعفة العمل لما يسعى فيه من خير له وللدولة والأهل. هذا اللي أنا أدوره من الشعب، وربنا إن شاء الله يوفقنا جميعا على ما يحب ويرضى.
تقرب منازلها إلا محب زايد أسسها واليوث وراها داروا على الدار.
The UAE has been my home nearly for 10 years, and it's been an incredible place that has allowed me to grow my career, to start my own business, to meet some incredible people, have a lifestyle that I wouldn't have had at home, to feel safe, to feel valued, and that I can express myself as well as my business. So I couldn't be more thankful to this country and what it's offered me.
Welcome everyone to Pearls of Union, a program that sheds a light on the brightest minds and most inspiring figures in the UAE. In every episode, we dive deep into the journeys of exceptional individuals who turn ambition into achievement and challenges into opportunities. And one of those successful personalities is our special guest for today, and he is Mr. Conran, the managing partner and the founder of Joseph Mews. Welcome, Mr., and thank you for joining us today.
No, thank you very much for having me.
Thank you. So, sir, please let's go back to the beginning. How would you describe your educational and professional background?
My education I thoroughly enjoyed. I studied in the UK. I went to an all-boys boarding school where education was incredibly important, as was sport and the social aspects of life, which has really helped me, I think, in my later career. There was a real emphasis on community, speaking and collaborating with people, which I think has attributed to my success further on in my career. Then I went to university and I studied philosophy at the University of Leeds in the north of England, which again was an amazing experience, a lot of fun, and philosophy was something that I always really enjoyed, never with the idea that it would be my career, but mainly with the idea that it was something that inspired me and kind of helped me, I guess, use some of the creative elements that I feel that are my strengths. But I finished that, and then I went to London and started my career.
So your studies have helped you a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that the UK is interesting because unlike other countries, you don't necessarily study what you end up doing as your career. Unless you're going to be a lawyer and you study law, or you're going to be a doctor, you need to do medicine. But it's not vocational. So you could study philosophy and end up in finance or real estate like me. And so it's more about that commitment to learning, engaging and broadening your mind, I think. And I really enjoyed that.
And what about your professional journey?
Professional journey, I started in London. I worked for a sustainability company. At the time, it was actually the London 2012 Olympics. And it was all about making that whole journey or that whole event more sustainable, which now is a lot more relevant, I think. But in 2012, it didn't have as much exposure. The looking after the planet and sustainability wasn't at the forefront of people's minds. So it was a really innovative era where I was working in a sales role, trying to promote this. Something that I was passionate about, but also kind of, I guess, collaborating and using my interpersonal skills and learning. And I've always enjoyed learning, and that was something I wanted to learn about. And so that's how I started. Nothing to do with real estate. And then I think I asked myself a question and said, what am I good at? What are my skills? And I think this is something that everyone needs to ask themselves in their career, is to say, you know, where do I see my strengths lie? Not necessarily with an industry, but with my own personality. And what I knew was that I enjoyed working with people, that I knew I was good at sales, and that I was willing to learn and passionate about anything that I took on. And I fell into real estate. You know, it wasn't something that I grew up saying, I'm going to work in real estate. And I think that's important to mention, because I think particularly for younger children or adolescents that are studying, they think, too much pressure, I need to know what I'm doing. You don't. You relax, you work out what you are growing into as a human being and where your strengths are going to be. And that was certainly the case for me. I got an opportunity in real estate and I moved from there.
Great, and it was the best choice for you?
Absolutely, it's given me freedom, it's brought me to this amazing country where I've lived for 10 years now in the UAE, and I've met a lot of incredible people and been lucky enough to grow my own business with it. So yeah, definitely the right move.
Sir, you know that every path to success comes with challenges. So what were the main obstacles that you have faced during your career and how did you overcome them?
Competition, I think, is, you know, as I say, grew up in London, and there is so much pressure and competition, particularly in my generation. Just because you have a university degree, so does everybody else. You can have a master's, so does everybody else. It's very hard to differentiate yourself, and when there's more pressure, I think, you know, it can be rough. And I feel that when I look at the younger generations now, I think they experience the same thing. So I think that competition has been a challenge. Self-awareness of what you want to do has always been another challenge with me, particularly, as I say, studying something like philosophy, where I wasn't going to be a philosopher. I think understanding what my journey was, and I found that as a challenge. So yeah, I think it's, for a lot of young people, I think it's direction and clarity of where I should be. But I think looking back now, my advice would be relax, don't put too much pressure, and let things work out how they're meant to.
In tough moments, so who stood by your side? Who believed in you?
My parents, in particularly my mother. I'm very, very close with her, and she's always been an amazing support. My friends back in the UK, I think, going back to my school life, you know, having been at a boarding school, all boys, everyone was very close and supportive of each other's careers. And I think it's advice, again, that I would give to everybody is, you know, relationships, friendships, whether they're, you know, as I say, whether it's family or friends, they're there for a reason. And talk to people, share your thoughts, share your feelings, share your worries, share your anxieties. And, you know, it's made a lot easier when you put things out in the open rather than keeping it inside. And so I've been very lucky to have a mother who's incredibly supportive, father as well, and lots of great friends. So yeah, I've had a good support network.
So your family and your friends supported you a lot?
Yeah, 100%, yeah.
Sir, every successful venture requires a leadership with a strong direction and also with a clear vision. So how you have contributed to the growth and success of this company?
It's a really good point, and I learned from talking about sort of, I guess, people that have supported. My old boss, who's actually chairman of Joseph Mews, he's a sort of a silent chairman in the business. He is what I would put down as my mentor. And I think it's important that every founder, every entrepreneur has that person. I think everyone does, that they look up to and that they know is there, not just from an emotional support, but a business support. You know, if I need to make tough decisions or, you know, any decisions within business, I know I can rely on him because I've seen him do it. And he's called Andy Foote, and he's been a really great inspiration to me, not just as a businessman, but as a person, and, you know, how we want to give back as well as obviously grow a successful business. And leadership comes as a big part of that. And he was a great leader for me, as well as the team that I work for. And I've tried to translate a lot of that into my staff here. A very open policy, you can talk about everything. never using positive energy rather than negative or strict rules, which was, the old way in London when I grew up, was you were scared of your boss. I don't think that's productive. I don't think that's the world we live in now, that's conducive to people wanting to work for you and grow a business. And so I try and grow this business where we're all on the same playing field. I am no more senior than you. You have hierarchy to a respect level, but that everyone feels open and willing to share how they're feeling and ideas. As I said to you before, ideas are what makes everything work. And I have some good ones, I have some bad ones, and a lot of my staff have had some of the best ideas for us as a business, and that's down to them. And so they don't share those ideas, and you don't share that opportunity to grow unless they feel comfortable. And I think that's how all leaders should be, is make their staff feel comfortable to express themselves.
So this is your philosophy.
Yeah.
But great, today you are contributing to the growth of the company in the MENA region.
Exactly.
So sir, success is marked by significant milestones and impactful contributions. What are the key achievements that you are most proud of today at Joseph Mews?
I'd say, look, for me, from a personal level, obviously starting my own business was always an ambition, I'd say. I think one thing I would say that you kind of can be slightly aware of when you're younger is what mindset you have. So you have two mindsets. Number one is an entrepreneurial mindset. I want to start my own business. I want to work for myself for whatever reason. It can be a number of reasons. Or I have the mindset that I want to go and work for a big PLC company and progress through there. I want the stability. I want the structure. I knew from early on that I was of the entrepreneurial mindset and that I was always having ideas of my own business, of what it would be. I didn't know it was real estate, but I knew it would be my own thing. And so being able to do that, 3.5 years ago now, was a huge milestone for me, because anyone that starts a business will tell you there's no right time to do it. And sometimes your hand is forced, it's thrown upon you, you have an ultimatum, do I do this, do I do that? And there's never the perfect time that you feel, right, this is it, I'm fully settled. It doesn't exist. And so it came about quite strangely for me with the other business I work for kind of changing direction. And so it was ahead of schedule. So I was nervous, and what we've grown today and where we are, I'm very proud of as a milestone to be able to, take that move and build something that's, grown and grown over a short period of time. So that's a big milestone for me. And then I'd say expanding the company is another milestone, and it's quite relevant timing. I've been here in the region for 10 years, as I said, offering UK property investment, and now we've expanded and we're offering investment within the UAE as well. So being able to learn that market, somewhere I'm so passionate about, that I've lived, has been my home for 10 years, has been a really cool milestone for us as a business as well.
And now, are you deciding to expand into new markets?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So the UAE is our first step. So it's always been UK. We're a British business. That's always been our product, our investment offering, and now we will be offering the UAE as well.
So these are your strategic goals. These are your next step.
Yeah, for sure. I think one thing I've learned as well in running a business is you have to adapt, and you have to listen to what your audience, what your customer wants, what the market is saying. And look, the last 3-4 years in the UAE has obviously been incredibly, from a real estate perspective, incredibly fruitful and successful for a lot of our investors. That, we have a database of clients that trust us, that want to deal with us, but we only have the UK as an offering, and they're saying, do you offer in the UAE or based here? And we haven't. So for me, what was really important is we're experts in the UK. We know it inside out. We know who to work with, who not to work with, the right developers. The UAE, I know from a consumer level because I've lived here for 10 years, but the real estate market wasn't something that I've really experienced. So we spent months as a team and with our chairman understanding this market and realizing who we wanted to work with, and having the same authenticity that we have in the UK here as well. And so that's been our kind of strategic move, as you say, to listen to our audience, and our audience wants to invest in the UAE. So
sir, today you are operating in different markets across various industries and also across various countries. So how do you ensure compliance with local and international regulations?
Yeah, it's a good question. So our head office is in the UK, so we have an office based there. We've had an office here, as I say, with my previous company. I've worked here for 10 years. We've been 3.5 years in Joseph Mews within the UAE. We also have an office in South Africa, and then we have partners in the Far East as well. So, you know, we're very much a global business. We have clients all over the world, but that's always been the case. So we're aware of the, you know, everything that we need to deal from a legal perspective, not just for us, but for our clients, right? Because the process of investing in property, whether you're in the UK or whether you're in Dubai or whether you're in Johannesburg or in Hong Kong, is very different. Yeah. And so we've had to, you know, learn through our partners, through the lawyers that we work with and the legal entities, the mortgage brokers, how that looks like. And so it's all been through experience. And I've been lucky enough in my previous role in the UAE, which was the same role, that I learned everything we needed to know, and that helped me do this compliantly and in the best way possible.
So today, as a successful entrepreneur and as a successful leader, how can you define the word of success?
It's a good question, and it's something I think about. And I was talking about this very recently, is that success can be attributed for different people in different ways, right? There isn't a right or wrong answer, and it means different things for different people. You know, if you look at the success of a business by generic terms, it is revenue. How much money are you making as a business? How profitable are you? I look at it in that way because I think that's a byproduct of our success. If we are profitable as a business and we expand and we scale, it shows that we're doing something right. But for me, success revolves around our image as a brand. It's so important for me that we're represented well, that our staff represent us well, that we do things in the right way, that we give back, that we're not just a company that's here to, you know, service clients that want investment, but they trust us, that the brand trusts us from a leadership perspective within our industry, but also as thought leaders, that we're educating. And education for me is something that lies at the foundation of my business, is education. I find it what differentiates us slightly from our competitors is that is our focus. We run webinars, we run events. We did an event recently that was a ladies event, so it was empowering women or empowered women within the UAE, and it was at a members club Nera in Dubai, just for empowered women that wanted to learn about investment and could share their journeys and their experiences through their own careers, not just real estate. And so we had an amazing panel. My point, to come back to your question, is that's success for me, being able to offer something other than an investment property in the UK or Dubai. It's more than that, and what we represent. And that, if I can finish Joseph Mews with that image of us as a business, that they educated, they helped and they gave back, then that's success.
To make an imprint.
Yes, I think it's really important. I think we have a responsibility to give back, and I'm very passionate about that.
So based on your experiences, what words of encouragement or guidance you would like to convey through our episode to the new generation and also to young entrepreneurs aspiring to build a career in the field of real estate development?
My advice to the younger generation would be to speak to people. And what I mean by that is, one bit of advice that I was given when I was younger is that we have 2 ears and 1 mouth. And there's a reason for that, is that the best way for us to learn is to speak to people with experience. There's obviously books, there's the internet, we're blessed with a lot of material now where we can learn from. But the best people that I've ever learned from are people that have actually done what you're aspiring to do. So to the younger generation, speak to your parents, speak to their friends, speak to your friends, speak to anybody that can help you grow and help you learn, because I can assure you that will be your best way of success.
Thank you for your advice, sir. So as we come to the end of our conversation, I would like to invite you to share a message of appreciation and gratitude to the UAE and its leaders.
The UAE has been my home nearly for 10 years, and it's been an incredible place that has allowed me to grow my career, to start my own business, to meet some incredible people, have a lifestyle that I wouldn't have had at home, to feel safe, to feel valued, and that I can express myself as well as my business. So I couldn't be more thankful to this country and what it's offered me.
Thank you so much, sir, for this inspiring meeting. It was my pleasure talking with you today. Wish you all the best.
Thank you so much.
Dear audience, this is the end of our episode. Watch us next week. Goodbye.